Hey everybody! Welcome back if you've been here before. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Heather and we are a fun, fabulous sewing channel where I am always me and I encourage all of you to be you. And we do lots of different things. Today, we have a couple of things. So I'm gonna chat for a few, but then we're going to dive into my thought process as we try to make a tiny tote bag together. But first and foremost, okay, so we're into the holiday season and I am so excited for it. We dropped our very first holiday sewing kit earlier in November 3rd. That has now closed, and so today what we are releasing is what I am calling the Cowboy Christmas Advent Box. Okay. Yes, we have special shipping boxes. Yes, you're gonna get this and be so excited. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you a sneak peek of one of the materials that's inside this box. So it'll pop up over here, just a photo. It's an Advent box, right? So it's meant to be a surprise. So I can't show you the final products, but I will release the videos of me making all of these things later in December after everyone has gotten their boxes and opened all of their days. So this will be a 6-day box. If this goes well, I've never done these before. If it goes well, we'll do a 12-day box next year, but I didn't want to go too far. I just wanted to go just enough. And I'm calling it Cowboy Christmas, but it is not Christmas specific. So it is full of, I'm trying not to give anything away. I'm so excited about it. It's full of items that you can utilize all year long. I don't think that gives anything away. It's hard not to actually say what I'm trying to say, but it is not holiday specific. I just like alliteration. So Cowboy Christmas, here we are. I love words that start with the same letters and I can't stop myself. So you guys have to take part in this. But I did just want to make sure I let you guys know that it is not Christmas specific. However, it is going to be so fun. And by the time you're seeing this video, it's live. It might also be gone by now. I guess it depends on when you see it. So Advent boxes are going live at 11 a.m. on November 7th. And they will close at 10 a.m. on November 10th. Okay, so it's a pretty short time span for them to be open, but that's because I need to make sure I'm hand making all of the things that are inside of this box. And so I just have to make sure that I have enough time to make these things, but not make too many of them because I won't have anything from inside the box available individually this calendar year, so 2025. So the only way to get the items will be in the box. And so I want to just make sure that I don't make too many, but also that I make enough. And so to do that, we have to have a pretty short turnaround time. I will have the Advent boxes and just my shop in general linked in the comments in the description box below this video. So make sure you check that out. There will be limited quantities. So if these sell out before 10 a.m. on November 10th, I won't restock them. Whatever is there is there. And that's kind of like all that there is. So these are a couple of our releases. They're pretty time specific and time sensitive. And that's just because I don't have a ton of these materials. And because I do hand make them, I want to make sure that there's enough time for me to make them in order for me to get them to you in a timely fashion, but also for the Advent box in particular, you need it to be with you at home, waiting to be opened before December 1st so that you can participate in that 1st through 6 days of items. So there's that. When we were launching fall, I had said that I wanted to do tiny totes, and that was like a really popular option for folks, but I didn't get a chance to do it. And so because I can't show you what I'm making inside of the Advent boxes, we're going to stick to the cowboy, the country western theme today. We're going to use some of our other cow related materials to go ahead and sort of design up some tiny totes. And I don't really know if they're going to work or not. We're not there yet because I've actually never made them. I have this idea. I'm going to show you how I work these things out. We'll sew it up. We'll see if it works. And if it works, awesome. I will include all of my measurements also in the description box below so you can make these as well. And if it doesn't work, we'll try again because that's what we do. We don't give up. All right, let's head on over to the machine and we will take a look at sort of my notebook and measurements and we'll get to sewing. All right, you guys, so we're at the machine, which as always is a Juki TL 2010Q. We are using Tex 35 weight thread in the top and the bobbin in color gingerbread from Waywack. It's like a brown color. Sorry, pretty. We have a Microtex 9014 needle in our machine, which in all honesty probably needs to be changed, but we're not going to do that right now because we're experimenting. And then we have our tank foot for high shank machines. The numbers on the side are KT141. This is basically like a walking foot for this style machine without the bolt. That's how I think of it. That's what we're going with. All right, so I grabbed some of our materials from around the studio. This is 1/2 inch wide faux leather. They call it webbing, but you know, it's like not. But it's like handle material, and we're going to use this to make our little tiny tote bag handles. So we have that. And then we're going to use a number 3 zip here. We could use a number 5 zip and make a zip tape. But again, like we're kind of just testing the waters here to see if we like what we're doing. And because we're just kind of testing, I'm going to stick to this number 3. I got a whole pack of these, you guys. If you've watched my videos before, you've probably seen them, and like they come in all these colors with all of these just mixed matched in there. That looks like the one we need, but you just like grab your zipper out of it to match your color. So that is what we're going to do there. We will use we're going to use a gate ring. I have this new pack. These are smaller than some of our other ones. I'll link all the materials that I can in the description box below this video too. So we'll have a gate ring. We've got our name tag that we're going to use. It sort of goes with our vibe. This is from ArtiFoxStudios on Etsy. I like to just go on Etsy and search like custom bag tags and see what comes up. So there's that. This is, it's like a textured vinyl. Can you see it? It's like a textured vinyl from Hobby Lobby. That's what we'll use for our exterior. And this is just like a scrap cotton that I found hanging around in the bottom of one of my bins. And it's kind of like the only brown thing I have. So we're going to use that. We're going to go with that too. All right. So I'm just going to unfold this, and then we were going to just use our 9.5 by 9.5 OmniGrid ruler to figure out like what size we want to make our bag. All right, so I've taken out the OmniGrid, and I think that we're gonna go 5.5 across by 4 inches down for like our main panel. But I have this idea for the top, like, so we're gonna add a little bit. So like I said, I have this notebook that I just kind of write everything down in. So we're just gonna tiny totes, and we're going main exterior. 5.5 wide by 4 tall. All right, so this is kind of like, that's my thought process. I'm just like, I don't know, what do I think? So I'm just gonna cut out, I'm not cutting out interiors yet. I'm gonna cut out and measure 2 of these at this size, and then we're gonna attach our handles and do our corners. Okay, which will make sense in a second. All right, so while I was looking at cutting, I also decided that I want like a top piece of the exterior because I don't want the handles and the zipper to be kind of like sewn into the same thing. So we're cutting a top exterior piece at 5.5 inches wide and 1 inch in height. And that would be this piece here, okay? So we obviously need 2 front and back. All right, now let's do our centers. And let's grab our little handles here, you guys. So let's see. What do we think? What do we think? Obviously, this is going to be like, it's like an accessory that you put on your bag. So the bag handles don't have to be super long. I think I like that. Let's see. All right, let's see how long these are. All right, so we'll go 7.5 here with our handles, all right? I'll take out my book in 1 second, write that down. We're just gonna cut 2 at the same length. And again, these are 1/2 inch wide. So if you're making your own, you just want the final product to be 1/2 inch wide by 7.5. Let me grab out the book. Okay, handles. Half inch wide by 7.5 long. And I think we'll place like 1 inch from the center. So I'm just going to take my marker we'll find that inch mark for both sides. And I'll show you on one and then I will do the other quickly. So what we want here is our good side of our handle to sort of be facing downwards because we're going to pop this up and that will make the good side be up. So I'm just going to go to the left of that mark and I'm going to baste this down. This is like it is a thicker material. It's not difficult to sew, but if you're adding a ton of layers, it could be. Just make sure you backstitch. Again, we're just kind of basting at the moment. And then you're going to take your other end and just make sure that it doesn't get tangled or anything. And you're going to go to the right-hand side of your other line and baste that down. Okay, we're gonna build a whole panel here. All right, so then we'll take one of our pieces This one is the one that we cut off. See how these match? We're going to put them right sides together. And I'm just going to line those back up the best that I can. There's like a lot of different versions of tiny totes, and so you can pick whatever speaks to you. We're going to sew this together at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And sometimes I just like to wing it, you know, I like to like make patterns, or I have ideas in my brain, I just write them down in my notebook and see what happens. And I'm always backstitching, you guys. I know I'm not saying it, but I am. I am backstitching. All right. See how our handle like flops up, and it's so nice. So we're gonna have our seam lie underneath our main panel, and that's exactly how it wants to go anyways, so that's perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and top stitch on our main panel so it holds down that sort of seam allowance that's behind it. We'll take our time when we go over these bulkier bits with our handle. Look at that, you guys. So cute. So cute. Okay. Here for it. We're going to box our corners. So once again, we'll take our Omni grid out, and I think we're going to box it a 1 by 1. I think that looks good. See here, so we'll just kind of like, we're going to take that out of there. Make sure you're lining that up good. Sometimes it's hard to see from back here. I know when you guys are doing it, probably not doing it from behind the camera, but okay, and then you just kind of cut those squares out, and that's going to make our shape of our bag. I don't know, so far so cute, you guys. So far. This is literally what I do, even when you guys aren't here and I have new ideas. I just sit in here and talk to myself on how it looks. So yeah, this is perfect. All right. So that's our little panel, okay? So I'm gonna build the second one exactly the same way. And then I'm actually gonna use this as our pattern piece for our interior pieces. And I'm just gonna trace this onto our interior pieces and cut those out. And that way I know they're exactly the same size. That's why I did not cut interiors first. I had no idea the size that this would be when we were done. Let's see. So it looks like it is 4.5 inches tall and 5.5 inches wide right now at this point. So, all right. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll put our bag together. All right, you guys, we have cut our interior material, and this is, like I said, it's just a cotton from a Scrappy's. I put my bag tag on, and both of our exteriors are done, and I have to say I am a big fan so far. We were using number 3 zipper tape, as you recall, from not too long ago, and so I just cut a piece that's going to be bigger than our bag. Okay, so we're going to take our zip tape, we're going to put it right side down on our exterior. And if you want to be more precise about how much zipper tape you need, you can just measure your top when you make these. Okay, then we're going to take a lining piece and we'll put that right side down. So the right sides of our material are together now. And we're just going to clip that into place. So we're basically just making like a boxed pouch now for this step. We're not doing, like I said, we're not doing zip tabs or 90-degree angles or anything like that. We're keeping it simple. And just make sure that you kind of push those handles out of the way. All right, and then we're gonna top stitch our material. So make sure everything's kind of away from that zipper. Again, just pull your handle down for now. And we're just top stitching 1/8 of an inch away from the edge here. The typical top stitch. And as we go, I'm just making sure that our material is pulled away from the zipper equally. And I'll bring this up a little bit closer here in a second. See? Look at that. Oh my gosh, girl, so cute. So cute. All right, we're gonna put the other side on the same way. So we'll just take our exterior, and with our zipper and our exterior facing up, we're gonna put our other exterior face down, and we're gonna line up a few things here. So we're gonna line up our sides, okay? And our top. We're just going to clip that into place. You can baste this here if you want. Basically, just want to make sure that your top is matched up with your zipper and your sides are matched up with your sides, okay? And then we're going to take our other remaining interior panel and we're going to put that right sides together with our other interior panel. Again, just kind of matching up all the sides and the top. It just helps. It helps to match. Sorry if I brought that too far close to me. Trying to make sure we matched. All right, so same thing here, you guys. Like I said, I mean, it's very much just like a simple pouch construction now at this point. Definitely beginner friendly. If you're watching and wondering if you can do this, the answer is absolutely. And you can use all different kinds of materials. You definitely don't have to use what I'm using. Same thing. We'll top stitch this side and then we're going to put our zipper on. Or a zipper pull. Our tape is there. We just don't have a pull on it, so we can't zip it yet. And we're just going to cut our threads. Okay, so number 3 zipper pulls can be a little tricky to put on because they're so small. I want the front of my bag to be the one with my bag tag. And so when I line it up, right, left, right, I'm going to come in here on the right hand side, and that's where I'm going to put my zipper pull on so that it opens to the right. And I'm gonna leave this right here in the center, just as it is. We're just gonna let that hang out. All right, and then we're gonna match up our exteriors. Both sides. And we're gonna just, like I said, we're gonna match up exteriors, we're gonna match up the bottoms, and we're gonna match up the interiors, and we're just gonna clip everything into place for now. All right, so we're all clipped together. Now we are gonna leave the majority of the base on our interior open so we can pull our bag through and turn it. It's gonna be a really small space. But for now, we're gonna come down both sides here, interior and exterior, and we're gonna stitch them together at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm gonna start on the interior side because all of our sort of they're facing downwards, and so I want to keep that sort of downward motion going, and we're going to use our go-to 1/4 inch here. And I always take my time going over zip teeth, even though they're plastic and they're number 3. Still, don't want to break a needle, and as I mentioned earlier, mine is definitely a needle that needs to be changed, so we're gonna be careful. Okay, make sure we caught everything, and then we'll do the same thing down this side. And you just kind of want to make sure that everything sort of stays as lined up as possible. The handles that we're using, they're pretty thick, so they're going to make your material want to sort of move on you. Just move it back. Okay, good. Now we're going to reach in the bottom here. I'm just going to kind of push up those handles now that we've sewn the sides. That way we can kind of reclip down here. And same thing, 1/4 inch all the way across. And then we'll come down here, and for our interior, we're only making just about a 1/4 inch stitch in on both sides, and that's just so that we can box our corners. We want to leave as much open as possible. So just back stitching a few times, and then we will go ahead and do the same thing over here. Okay, so we left this bit open. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but we're gonna do it. I believe in us. We probably could leave some of the side open. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna roll with it. All right, we're gonna box our corners. So we're just gonna pull these until they sort of lie flat on each other, like so. You can butterfly or you can nest, and it looks like these want to nest, so we're gonna let them, and then we're just gonna stitch this corner together at 1/4 of an inch. Let me move you guys. Maybe you'll be able to see better. I can't like smush everything out of the way from that side. Oh, it came out. We came out. Hang on. Okay, one corner. Let's do the other. And you just want to make sure when you're nesting that you make sure your seam nests to the same direction on both sides. And so because we went here, we want this one to come over here. That will help your bottom lie flat. I mean, not like it's going to be lying flat anywhere, but still, it'll help. All right, I'm going to cut down our corners just a bit. Again, it'll just help us sort of have everything lie nice and flat. I'm going to box our interior corners exactly the same way, so I won't show you that. I'm going to do that really quickly. I am just going to sort of chop off our zips. And we're going to burn those. Anytime you cut a zipper, you want to melt that end so that it doesn't fray. Make sure you do that on both sides. Okay. All right. So we've got little corners. We're going to do our corners here, and then we'll pull our bag through our teeny tiny hole. All right, our corners are all sewed up. Let's go ahead, and you can just kind of reach in here, and you see the zipper there. If you just push it, it's going to open. Okay, so that's why it's fine to just leave it in the center when you're using zip tape, because it is not it's not going to be an issue opening it. All right, so I guess that hole is plenty big enough because this is not too difficult. We'll just keep kind of pulling it out gently. Okay, we're going to come down and push out our corners. And then we'll come up here. So push out our top corners. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. All right, I think our corners are boxed a little too big, but she's a cutie. She definitely is. All right, let's stitch her up. Then we'll take a look. But before we do that, let me just, so we measured these at 1 inch by 1 inch, and we're gonna actually box our corners at a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and that will just make our box a little bit smaller. I think that will be good. All right, so to close up our turn hole here, we're just gonna sort of put our fingers in there. This material is gonna fold in on itself, like so. And we'll just put a top stitch in to close it up. Nothing crazy. All right, so we'll just cut our threads. We'll put our interior back in there. Fold our handles, right? Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, where do we put our little gate ring? This one might be too small. Okay. Oh, yes, you guys. All right, let's go to the finish table. We'll take a look. All right, you guys, we did it. We did it. Look at how cute. You know, the 1 inch box is actually, it's pretty adorable also. I mean, oh, it's so cute. So cute. All right, so let me just go over the measurements one more time in case you're going to make this yourself, right? So the main exterior pieces were 5.5 inches wide by 4 inches tall. This little top exterior piece here, 5.5 inches wide by 1 inch tall. We cut our handles at 7.5 inches long, and they were pre-cut at a 1/2 inch wide. And then we placed them 1 inch from the center. Okay. Oh, yes. We boxed our corners on this one at 1 inch by 1 inch, but I think probably I'll do a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch the next time I make these. But you guys, this is cute too, you know, like it is. It's so cute. And if you're attaching this to your bag, or you want this to be your bag and you're attaching it to like your keys. I swear I just saw a spider web. Like floating in midair. You're attaching it to your keys or something like that. Like it's still, this is a cute size too, actually. I like it. The more I look at it, yeah, I like it the more I look at it. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch box, see which one I like better. But this is going to be an extra little thank you to the very first person who orders our very first Cowboy Christmas Advent box. So, to be the first person, you'll get this as a thank you from me. Again, you know, it's a prototype. Is it perfect? No. But she's still a cutie, and you could definitely do something with this. And, you know, who doesn't like a little extra gift? So, the very first person to order the Cowboy Christmas Advent box will have this in their box as well. as a little thank you. I'm so happy we made this. On big tote bags, right? Like here's our inside. On big tote bags, I like when the handles, they go all the way down. But on these little guys, I'm here for this. Are you here? So that's what happens when I think about making something new. Measurements, I just kind of wing it. I go for it. I see what happens. And then I write it down in my little handy dandy notebook, which I'm reading from right now. You guys, don't forget, head on over to the shop and get yourself one of these boxes before they sell out. I also just wanted to take a second to thank you for being here with me, for watching, for supporting my channel. I am a small business, not just like my products on Etsy, but this YouTube is a small business too, and your support means the world to me. I couldn't do this without you, and I just want you to know that I know that, and I'm often overwhelmed with how thankful I am for all of you who are just here and you interact and you're fabulous, and I love you. So thank you for continuing to support me and my small business, especially now around the holidays when there are so many other things, other options. I just like, you guys are the best. You're the best. My rock stars. My mayhem makers, right? All right, you guys, that's going to do it for today. Again, Advent boxes are here now. Our second and final sewing kit launch is coming on November 10th. So mark your calendars if you're interested in that. We'll have 2 options in that sewing kit. So exciting. So many awesome things. I love Christmas and the holiday season. And so trying to bring that joy out to you all in all of these really fun sort of rapid fire launches so that you can join in on my Christmas cheer. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon.